Welcome back. Now in this day and age when most motorcycles come covered in snazzy graphics and plasticky cowls and fairings, it's nice to have a motorcycle that harkens back to the old days. And that's exactly what the Bullet 500 is. Kailash Menon takes it out for a test spin.
This is the Bullet 500. It's a motorcycle that hasn't been wrinkled by time, trends or technology. It's a classic that has been an icon amongst Indian motorcycles. Now when it debuted back in 1990s, it was the biggest motorcycle your money could buy. It was lovingly called the Raja Gadi or king of all bikes. It was rugged, it was reliable and it had played a lot of roles. It had waged wars with the army, it had patrolled with the police and it was the hot favorite among bikers and backpackers who conquered Khardungla for kicks. This right here is the 2013 version. It looks pretty much the same, but the good bit, it gets a modern motor. So essentially, it's a modern classic. It's retained its retro looks and bolted on a reliable UCE engine. Simply put, a unit construction engine is an engine where the engine itself, the clutch case and the gearbox are packed into one compact casing. As a result, you get a motor which is frugal, reliable, powerful and the one which has the least amount of transmission losses. But unlike the classic 500, it doesn't get electronic fuel injection. Pumping petrol into the motor is a carburetor with a throttle position sensor. Now the Bullet 500 puts out 26.1 bhp and twists out 40.3 Newton meters of torque. Now when compared to the fuel injected 500, that makes it 1 bhp weaker. But the difference, the slight difference that there is, it's only restricted to the spec sheet. Out in the real world, this one too feels pretty lively and energetic. The only difference would be the carbureted version, the throttle response is not as sharp and precise as the fuel injected 500. Now it's no crotch rocket. Redline it and it will rattle like crazy. Loads of low-end torque adds to its cruising credentials. Now compared to the older 500, this definitely feels a lot more leaner, a lot more lighter and a lot more faster, which is a good thing. But one thing Royal Enfield can't seem to put to rest are vibrations. On this motorcycle, everything is beautiful till about 90 kilometers per hour. I mean, the man and machine are in perfect harmony. But push past 90 kilometers and the vibrations start to creep up. Right from your boot to the tank and the handlebar vibrates like crazy. So that is a bit of a glitch. The ergonomics are unchanged. You sit ramrod straight and you sit a bit high. The suspensions take care of the rough stuff and the front disc bites hard when you clamp down. But the best bit about this motorcycle is attention to detail. The devil really is in the details. Check out the pinstripes on the petrol tank. Now, for those who didn't know, Royal Enfields are hand-tooled, hand-machined and hand-painted motorcycles. It's not like any other mass-market motorcycles where you take a gold leaf sticker, peel it and paste it on the tank. Here, the artist takes his brush and paints it on the tank. As a result, you get a petrol tank that is a personalized piece of art. But the 500 is not free of flaws. The stock seats could do with more cushion, the silencer emits a muted blat, and then there's no fuel gauge. Now this is a 2013 Bullet. It doesn't have a CB point start. In fact, you get an electric start, but still the ampere meter is there, which is pretty redundant. So I would have really appreciated if Royal Enfield would have thrown in a fuel gauge so that the rider on a ride is not making wild guesses about how much fuel is left in the tank. But it surely has evolved. With forest green paint, it looks better than before. And with modern mechanics, it's gotten maintenance free too. Priced at 1,37,979, it is 8 grand cheaper than the fuel injected 500. Now it's fed pretty close as far as the classic 500 is concerned, but here's why you should buy the Bullet 500. It's a retro ride and the design has been untouched for decades. It gets a modern motor now which is frugal, reliable and promises of a potent performance. The best bit, however, at 1,37,000 ex-showroom Delhi, this is the cheapest 500cc motorcycle your money can buy.
Now, the manufacture and sale of 100cc commuter motorcycles in India is a cutthroat game, and just mileage and reliability is not enough, which is why Mahindra has launched the Centuro, a features-packed motorcycle. Abhishek Singh takes it out for a ride.
These days, when one sees sub 150cc bike ads, there are shots of good-looking, sometimes bare-chested men riding concerned bike in exotic, graphically enhanced locales. Now, all this put together takes away from the whole point of making the ad, the bike. And that's where we come in, because we like our bikes and we like telling people about them so that they can make an informed choice. It helps us earn a living in these trying times. And so, yet again, we have another interesting bike. Say hello to the Mahindra Centuro.
It's not love at first sight with the Centuro. It looks like any other 100-odd-cc commuter bike. But then, once you take a closer look, you see a few things that raise eyebrows. There's a combined analog and digital instrument cluster which packs in quite a lot. A digital odometer, 2 trip meters and a fuel gauge find their home in the 2 LCDs. Along with that, there's a service reminder and a distance to empty feature. Then there's the cool key with the handy LED to look for the keyhole in the dark. And what's better is that Mahindra gives you 2 sets of these keys. Heck, even Audi doesn't do that. The Centuro also has the distinction of being India's first bike to offer an anti-theft system with an inbuilt engine immobilizer. Looking closely helps, doesn't it?
Surprisingly, the Centuro is deft on corners, a trait that not many bikes in its class possess. A little more power would have done wonders to the bike. But then again, it's not a perfect world, is it?
The Mahindra Centuro rides 173mm above the road, enough to comfortably avoid most obstacles which one normally ends up meeting on Indian roads. Ride-wise, the Centuro feels quite supple and capable of taking both the challenges and the punishment that daily commute has to throw at it. The Centuro comes with a mono-cylinder 4-stroke 106cc engine, putting out 8.5 bhp at 7000 rpm. It may not be hair-raising, but it pulls power early and does its duty well, giving the bike a very relaxed overall feel. 0 to 60 can be reached in 8.5 seconds. No blisters caused, but go past 3000 rpm and everything improves, and the search for power ends. The bike does cross 100 km per hour, and the Centuro's high performance, relative of course, is another thing we liked about the bike.
The Centuro comes with hydraulic telescopic front forks and 5-way adjustable coil shocks doing duty in the rear. Both wheels have 130mm drum brakes, and disc brakes are not an option. But we hear it's in the pipeline, so we just have to wait and watch.
Now, the world of 100-odd-cc commuter bikes is a very competitive world in our country. The environment is pretty cutthroat, which is why Mahindra has priced the Centuro at 45,000 ex-showroom. Some may like it, some may not. But as far as we are concerned, the Centuro with all its bells, whistles and more is only a sign of good things to come.
And that was our show for this week. We've had a great time making it. We hope you've had a good time watching. Remember, you can catch the entire episode online at timesnow.tv or youtube.com. Till next week then, ciao and take care.